Global Transformation Astrology, GTA, with William Stickevers.
Okay, let's get into the election 2024. So basically what we're seeing here with the USA political return, President Biden, we're going to just look at his birth chart, November 20th, 1942, 8:30 a.m. wartime in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And what we note here is that Biden is going through a period called the loosing of the bond. And this period signifies major transitions or changes in one's life. It's a pivot, a departure, a letting go, a leveling up, or a significant life event that happens at this time. So under Biden's leadership, particularly since last year of April, the world appears increasingly embroiled in conflict. Inflation has a detrimental impact on the lower middle class. The economy has experienced significant turbulence. His social progressive factions within his own parties are raising questions about his autonomy and decision-making. And there's issues of current, questions about his health, his state of mind. And the loosening of the bond period correlates with a sudden blow of fate, unexpected setbacks and reversals, and a need, most importantly, to relinquish control. So the current situation we see in the nation under Biden's leadership, using astrology, is a failure or collapse in leadership or decisive leadership, as opposed to a style of governance that is perceived essentially as weak, reactionary, and ineffectual, even within core members of his own party. One of the things I do know is if they're up there in age, let's just say somewhere around 65 plus, and they go through an LB period, often there is a medical event or a series of medical events that compromise their ability to continue their profession. Now, I knew this situation with his health was going to deteriorate even faster, right? Where Biden misremembering again, where we saw special counsel Robert Hur's report on Biden handling of classified documents, which described the president as a well-meaning elderly man with poor memory and diminished faculties, right? So then Biden, in response, did a press conference in front of reporters in a hopeless bid to demonstrate that his mind was fully intact, and it backfired. Very common with LBs. The more you try and hold on, the more it backfires in various ways, right? Biden referred to the Egyptian president Sisi as the president of Mexico. So in a week in which he already twice confused the dead male German chancellor Helmut Kohl with the living female Angela Merkel, and confused the late French president Francois Mitterrand with President Emmanuel Macron. So, this is the number one threat to U.S. national security. This is sort of a joke, Darth Shatner, but it gets the point across, right? We're seeing things unravel, and they will continue to unravel. The next day, by the way, the infamous vice president, astrologers continue to endorse, Kamala Harris says, "I am ready to serve," as Biden brain comes under scrutiny. So this is a classic fourth American turning escalation as we go into this, where the White House is quickly recalibrating its reelection message following the special counsel by Robert Hur's report that called Biden an elderly man with poor memory for mishandling classified documents. Now, the Biden administration and the deep state Democrats are positioning Harris as a capable substitute on the ballot. I kid you not, that is what is happening right now. So Biden's age and fitness are now at the top of voters' concerns. So 62% of registered voters have major concerns about whether Biden has the requisite mental fitness and physical strength to serve 5 more years as president, compared with 24% who have either minor concerns or no concern at all. So we're looking at the U.S. betting averages. Notice how Biden's numbers are collapsing down to 27.8%. Trump continues to gain ground. Here's my predictions without going into the astrology, since we don't have the time to prove that out here. My prediction is the Republicans will win the House 53-47. But we have a big problem, because Trump is going to be obstructed not so much by the voters. We're going to see, the problem with the deep state. So like Tucker Carlson says, if legal efforts to block Trump from running for president again fails, the next stop could be assassination or a hot war with Russia or China, or a bombing of Iran, and then the declaration of war and all that type of stuff to maintain power and to unite the population. So this is right, win at all costs. Once you start indicting your political opponent, the stakes become enormously high. Incumbent politicians must win or face severe consequences. Biden must win succeeded by Kamala, or face severe consequences. Lawfare: if the current legal measures to stop Trump continue to escalate without achieving the desired result, this will likely culminate in possible physical assassination attempts. So I'm not ruling this out here, right? And then we have bipartisan, people within the Republican Party don't want Trump. So all these people are against him. And then we have all of this happening, right? So what we're looking at is an election that's really a revolution. We could see a revolutionary break leading into Election Day or shortly after Election Day. So that is the scenario I see playing out here. All right, so we're going to finish up. I'm going to do some Q&A, but I think we need to keep in perspective. Something we continue to play down or overlook or forget about is that the Mayan long count end date, which started on December 21st, 2012, representing the rare alignment of the winter solstice crossing the galactic equator along the dark band of stars at the center of the Milky Way galaxy and the ecliptic, right? That was the beginning of this transition, according to the Mayan prophecy, that from 2012 to 2032, mankind will undergo a transformational death, rebirth, awakening period where scarcity in essential resources, food, fuel, water, economic distress will continue to intensify as natural disasters will accelerate and increase in frequency until some type of breakthrough and awakening follows. And so this is happening on a larger scale. We could see this is according to the Mayan elders' interpretation of this Katun period from 2012 to 2038, where we see, most importantly, the collapse of the old world order, the collapse of false belief systems, like the false narrative established by the government, the collapse of confidence and trust in world leaders, the collapse in confidence in institutions, private institutions, too big to fail institutions, government institutions, a new paradigm beginning to emerge as the old world order undergoes its final death throes. So that is the larger cycle that's happening that supersedes, in a way, the Barbeau. So we have the Barbeau, which is a solar system cycle, and then you have this galactic cycle here, right, which is like 100,000 foot view. This is like a 30,000 foot view. And then the transits happening year to year or more like a 2,000 foot view. And so we have to have multiple perspectives. So the Mayan long count end date started on December 21st, 2012. It'll end September 7th, 2032. So we are here, we're transitioning into the transformation. And I believe that transformation, it's already started. If I could move the X like halfway between this death area where it intersects with this color and this yellow color, right? So we were here, we're like right here. And what have we been hearing? Denial, this can't be happening. Anger, why me? Why do I have to do all the work? Bargaining, just let me keep my pointless job, my car, my pension, and a beer or two while I watch Netflix. Depression, it's hopeless. Why bother with anything? So we're like right about here. So we're going through a psychospiritual death, rebirth, which is an ego death that is the struggle and drama that accompanies vast changes and transformations at the deeper levels of psyche, which require a breakdown and death of a prior period that the ego continues to identify with, that it has essentially outgrown, requiring a surrender to transformational processes bigger than you so that the spiritual awakening and breakthrough can occur. That is essentially what is going on at the 100,000 foot level.
To watch the full presentation and more like this on geopolitics, the economy, and world events from an archetypal and mundane astrological perspective, join the Global Transformation Astrology membership. Go to gta.williamstickevers.com. Become a GTA member today.